How's it going, everyone? Today I've got another video for my Black Ops 2 game mode specific class setups. I've covered plenty of objective game modes, so this time I'm going to take a look at a class for TDM, Team Deathmatch, and I've named this one Team Deathmatch Survivor. Obviously the whole point of Team Deathmatch is to secure kills while avoiding deaths. There's no capture points or flags to secure in TDM, so it's all about getting kills, and obviously the lower number of deaths you incur, the better you're doing for your team, obviously because you're not supplying free points to the enemy. If I'm honest, in my opinion, this idea of securing as many kills as possible without dying tends to promote more of a campy playstyle, and I find TDM a little bit too slow. But it turns out it's the most popular game mode in Call of Duty, whether that's just because it's at the top of the list and it's what everyone just clicks on straight away, or whether people actually enjoy playing TDM, I'm not sure. But let's get started and take a look at this setup to get the best games possible in TDM with a look at some weapons and equipment. Rather than running with guns blazing like a typical SMG playstyle, we're going to play a little bit more tactically. So we'll go with an assault rifle to give us that nice mix of high power and slightly slower movement speed to promote that more tactical playstyle where you kind of peek round corners and check those corners before rushing into any environment. Pretty much any of the full automatic assault rifles, or even one of the semi-autos that's converted to full automatic, would be a perfect fit for this setup, but I've gone with the AN94 with it being a nice all-round powerhouse. We're going to run the primary Gunfighter Wildcard in order to completely bling out our assault rifle, and the three attachments I've gone for are quick draw handle, adjustable stock and fast mags. The main drawback of using assault rifles as opposed to SMGs is you get that slightly slower aiming speed. I always find that without the quick draw handle on an assault rifle, you often end up being gunned down before you've had a chance to open fire, so that's the main reason for the quick draw handle for slot number 1. The adjustable stock's going to come in handy to both keep you alive and to promote that more tactical playstyle. That faster movement speed while aiming down sights means you can often dodge bullets in those close range encounters by dodging from side to side, and because we're going to want to check those corners and move a little bit more carefully around the map, that adjustable stock is going to help you aim down sights in advance, then walk around the corner already aimed down sights, ready to open fire on any lurking enemies. And while the AN94 doesn't have a dreadfully slow reload time, we're going to go with the fast mags just to speed up those reloads, so it's going to minimise the chances of being caught while halfway through a mag replacement. Fast mags is also going to minimise the chances of needing to switch over to a secondary weapon, so we'll leave that slot blank and instead put an extra point towards a cheeky little mine in the lethal slot in the form of the Bouncing Betty. Bouncing Betties and Claymores are a little bit cheap, but at the end of the day Team Deathmatch is all about getting kills, and a carefully placed mine will get you an easy free kill every now and again, which is all points towards the victory. So those weapon and equipment selections are going to help us secure those kills, so let's move on and take a look at some perks to help us stay alive and avoid those deaths. For perk slot number 1 we'll go with Ghost, just to keep us off the radar. This is going to be one of the best ways of staying alive in TDM, so you're not that guy who's hunted out as a little red dot on the radar. Bear in mind that we're not using a suppressor on our AN94, so we will still appear up on that radar when we open fire, but as long as you keep moving around the map and not adopt that camping playstyle, Ghost will definitely work in your favour by allowing you to attack the enemies and flank them from the sides and from behind, which is obviously much less risky than a head-to-head engagement. It's going to be impossible to avoid some head-to-head engagements where you run into an enemy around a corner by surprise, so for perk slot number 2 we'll go with Toughness to help us keep our iron sights on target. Then to make sure we don't fall victim to any enemy booby traps like those Bouncing Betties or Claymores, we'll run the Engineer perk for slot number 3. We're not using Flak Jacket in this case, so the best way to protect ourselves from those mines and explosives is to be able to see them highlighted in red. And to finish off this setup, let's move on and take a look at some Scorestreaks rewards. It's worth bearing in mind that in TDM you don't get those extra point bonuses for defending objectives like you do in Domination or Demolition, or even extra points for collecting those tags like in Kill Confirmed. This means that 100 points per kill is quite difficult to rack up those long streaks to acquire those high-end kill streak rewards. So for this setup we're going to stick to 3 relatively low-end rewards, which are going to be quite easy to acquire, that are also going to help us secure those kills to win the game. Unlike those objective game modes, there's no specific spawn point for each team. It's more like free-for-all where players are basically spawned in a safe area of the map. This means it's more difficult to know where the enemy is going to be coming from, so it makes the UAV much more important, so we'll equip it for Scorestreak number 1. Airstrike Scorestreaks like the Hellstorm missile or the Lightning Strike are pretty good in those objective game modes where all the players are kind of flocking to one area of the map. But in Team Deathmatch you kind of find that all the enemy players are kind of sparsely scattered across the map, so it's more difficult to get those nice feeds with an airstrike. So for Scorestreak number 2 we'll go with the Sentry Gun. Just setting this thing up where it can overlook a large open area will mean that you can often pick off enemy players, which are all going to help towards that required kill count to win the game. While it's not going to get you nice multi-kills like an airstrike would, it's going to pick off just as many people, just less frequently, just as long as it doesn't get hacked or blown up by the enemy team. Then because one of the criteria for Team Deathmatch is to stay alive, for the third and final Scorestreak award we'll go with the Dragonfire. Rather than risk your life roaming around the map yourself, you can sit yourself down in a safe position and control that Dragonfire drone and pick people off from the sky. One of the extra benefits of the Ghost perk is that you will remain undetected on the radar even when stationary, as long as you sat controlling one of your Scorestreak awards. So that means you can either take manual control of your Sentry Gun or play around with your deadly remote control helicopter without the risk of appearing as a little red dot on the enemy's minimap. So give this setup a try next time you play TDM or run into the TDM game mode in that ground war playlist. If you have some fun with this class setup, or if you just enjoyed my video, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up down below just to help spread the word and share the video with your friends. Don't forget there's plenty more class setups from this series you can play around with in game. Just check out the link to the full playlist down in the description. While you're in there, don't forget to click those links to Twitter and Facebook. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all later.